Guys, today I have some really amazing charts that show us what will happen next with Bitcoin. I have not just one, but 3 or 4 of them, and I'm going to talk about something big happening in the big picture. The economy and financial markets have taken a huge turn for the worse, and today I need to tell you what I think is going to happen and back it up with more charts, showing us what happened in the past when we saw similar situations and what I think will happen next year for Bitcoin, altcoins, and everything else. Very important video today from the beginning to the end. Hey everyone, welcome back. Every day I'll bring you cryptocurrency lessons that teach you how to make money in this market. My name is Moji. If this is your first time on the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell right now. In yesterday's video, I talked about how important it was to close the daily candle above the orange box, which we were able to do. Now we have 2 green candles above the orange box, as you can see on this daily candle. They're really trying to bring us down, and they did it many times yesterday as well. But we didn't close any candles below the edge of the orange box. We did close one right here. Then I was able to close one below here, but look at this first. The bulls try to make another push to take out this previous high. As you can see, our push here failed to take out this previous high. Tried to get us to go down lower, or are actually succeeding in doing so overall though. I still think this looks pretty good as long as we stay above the orange box's edge. It would also be great if the bulls could step in and push us up above the orange box's edge, and we can shut the light above the box's edge. That's a good sign. So for me, things are still looking pretty good here. If you want to know exactly what I hope will happen or think will happen with these charts and why we have broken so many bearish structures, watch yesterday's video. I went into a lot of detail about that. One last thing I want to talk about in this video is that this is one of the main bearish patterns or forms we still have. However, it's not always bearish because we can break through it and get a nice pump to the upside. But I'm just saying that this trend shows that whenever we hit this resistance, this orange line that slopes down, which is at 66,500 right now, you usually get a rejection from this point. That's the only thing I want to say right now. I already talked at length about the rest of it yesterday. I want to work on something else today. The first thing to know is that standard markets are still doing well. The markets are still going up. That's great. Let's say we get down to $63,000. We do have a group of long liquidations. Now we know what we want to stay above this orange box. The Bitcoin price will drop to the bottom edge of the orange box if this box doesn't hold up. From there, the price will start to fall, which will lead to a lot of long liquidations. There are several. That's about $1 billion worth of long liquidations. They will lose everything if we go below this point, so it is very important for this orange box to keep the Bitcoin price high. That's one good thing I can say. Since we don't have many shorts, you can't expect a short squeeze until more shorts are added. Also, bears have been beaten up a lot lately, so they didn't add many shorts here. Which brings me to the first thing I want to say about that. Let me now show you how much Bitcoin short-term holders have. What does this mean? Well, when there is a lot of supply, that tends to be linked to local tops and bottoms in the hands of short-term users. That makes sense. How does this make sense then? Since there are a lot of new short-term holders when there is a big move either up or down in the market, it means that new people with new wallets are dealing with it. When a lot of new people in the market communicate with each other, that's a sign of a changing trend. Prices could go up from a low point or down from a high point as people sell their stuff. To emphasize my point, please look at this chart. You did see a rise in the activity and balance of short-term holders, and that is also a local high point for Bitcoin. You can also see a local or cycle bottom for Bitcoin right here. In this case, you did have a peak of short-term users holding peak right here, which was also the bottom for Bitcoin. You did not exactly have a peak here. We went up higher after that, but it was still a local top, a small drop, and then a rise. Even this one turned out to be right in this case. You have one more. This was a bottom cycle bottom in the area. In fact, short-term buyers hit a high point, and then there was the most recent low point. The last all-time high was this one. You can see that it wasn't the previous all-time high. From the last cycle, this is more like the all-time high of $69,700,000, and then there was the bear market. We came up with a new high at $74,000, but what I wanted to show you is that, yes, we did reach a peak. But when we hit $74,000, and even now at $65,000, you're not seeing a peak in short-term buyers. That means that, yes, prices will go up even more before short-term investors start to buy in large amounts. That will mark the local top. As for this one, I will also keep you posted. Moving on, there is another sign that $74,000 is not the all-time high for this cycle. Let's say that we are going to have a two-peak market, which means that there will be two peaks, like you saw in once, twice, and three times this market went up. Then it went down. I want to show you what these two peak cycles or two-cycle peaks look like when they happen. It usually takes between 209 and 188 days to hit a new all-time high. How does this look now? As you can see, we hit a peak right here. The next peak came next after 209 days. After that, there is a bear market. The same thing here, we've reached the top. This is the last round. It took 188 days for us to get back up and reach that second peak after going down. We've now had 162 days. It looks like we'll reach the same, kind of around the same days that you'll have that second peak. Now, I think it will take longer, so this means it's likely to happen sometime between 40 and 50 days or something. Anyway, I think it will take longer than that, but I think this chart will still follow the same general pattern as the ones we saw in the past. Allow us to now talk about the bigger picture of the business. So the world's top central banks' balance sheets at the same time for the first time ever. They are lowering their balance sheet because Japan has said they will do the same. Yes, the US and the ECB have been doing that since 2021. You can see that both the US and the European central banks' balance sheets have been going down. In other words, this is the opposite of making money. This is money, and I don't. Instead of making the economy grow, they're making it shrink. There is less money in the market because they are taking money out of it. Japan has now done the same thing. All of these are being done by the world's top central banks. We know this will only last for a short time, though, because we know the Fed will lower interest rates soon. These steps are already being taken by the European Central Bank, and more money will be put into the market. That's fine, but please know that this is the case right now. Again, the value of the yen has gone up, which means we need to keep a close eye on it. The more the yen goes up against the US dollar, the stronger it is. The market is more likely to be affected by these changes. You know what took place was it about 2 or 3 weeks ago, that the value of the Japanese yen went up? It will be here on August 5th. That was also the day that Bitcoin and the markets fell a lot. Let's look at August 5th. Yes, you can see that when we went down to 49,000, the price went from 58 to 49. Traditional markets also went down. So on August 5th, let's look at this right here. We drop, well, this candle. Guys, we need to keep a very close eye on this. We need to keep a very close eye on it. If the Japanese yen keeps going up like this and maybe even breaks through this one, the market is in a bad spot right now. We don't want it to be too strong then. I will keep you guys up to date on that, guys, but in a more positive note, Us money market funds just got $90 billion in new money in the first half of August. The most since November 2023. This means that a lot of the money that has been sitting in US Treasuries getting the 5% yield in Treasury bills has been put to work. A lot of this money is now coming into the market. It has begun to buy stocks by beginning to buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The markets are going up, and this is just the beginning, guys. This is going to keep going. As the Fed lowers interest rates, more and more money will flow into stocks and crypto, which will cause all of our assets to go up in value. We're already ready for this then.